This is an ooh-wee production.
Welcome to the Real Talk Podcast, where the goal is to better our understanding through conversation. Communicating our feelings, our thoughts, or our opinions could be some of the easiest, or it could be some of the hardest things to do. But by communicating, we begin to form new perspectives. So throughout the various topics and opinions we discuss on our podcast, we hope that we can add value, understanding, and maybe a few laughs to your day. We appreciate you guys listening and enjoy the show.
That's like, that's why I said that. It's not, I don't even know that tip, but just we a lot of times we succumb to our environment, like what's around us, and we become that. But it's like, bro, we higher than that. Like, think about where you started from, you know, back in high school to where you at now. Car, house, family, kids. Like, bro, you are risen to a height that you never thought you would be at, and you didn't even know that. So imagine what else you don't know.
It's interesting you say that. Yeah. You have risen to a height that you've never been at before. However, what happens when you stop and reflect and you think about your potential and where you're currently at, and you're like, okay, honestly, I feel like I'm not even stretching the surface. Like, oftentimes that's the question. What happens if in your life you never even scratch your surface?
It's terrible, man. It's terrible, bro.
But for some satisfied with that, and they still call that living because they happy. That's the crazy part about it. You have certain people in this life that's not stretching it's certain people in this life that are nowhere near their potential. And still, that's how blessed they are. It's like they need or want for nothing. And because of that, they're satisfied. But those that really know that individual will probably say they settling. So is that the case? Like, is that a true case?
Man. Because I think that it's all dependent on a person. Like, my trainer said to me, he was like, stop trying to change the world and change other people and change yourself. So it's like, it depends on the person. Like, you know, everybody got different gifts. You get it writing. I'm not that great at it, but I have a different gift. You know what I'm saying? And it may be analytically, but it's just like, we each have a different gift. So I think that's what we focus on. But that comparing is where it mess up at.
Okay, so I didn't mean for it to even sound like I was comparing, but in this situation, like, your potential, like, we talking about potential.
Yeah, so you saying looking at somebody else.
Yeah, you looking at them.
And you see
you looking at them, and you know that, like, this brother really just getting by. Like, it's like certain athletes. Early on, you catch certain athletes in which they were given God-given abilities and talents, and it's just like it's unmatched. Mm-hmm. So they getting by off of raw talent, really. And like, when you talk about skill is different than talent. Right. Talent is something that's raw.
I think it's natural,
but it's raw.
Right.
You know, but then you look at like a skill. A skill is something that's refined. Mm-hmm. You know, that's something that you understand your craft, and you understand the little nuances and intricacies, and you learn how to, you just put it on to something that's already there, something that's raw. You take and you say to yourself, all right, this is easy. So if you're in basketball, you're like, man, I could drive the ball at will. I can get to the basket. I can dunk on anybody at will. That's just something that's in me. Like, It's, you know, that's how you thinking. But now the area that you weaken is, let's just say, shooting. That's something that takes more effort. It takes more, you know, now you're looking at it, you like, man, I can jump as high as I choose to jump. But when it comes to shooting, that's different. Sometimes my ball sometimes it's hitting hard. It's whatever. And it's because now you have to understand, as you're a natural leaper. So now you got to understand, how can I take a little bit off my leap maybe so that my shot is, what it needs to be? Or, you flip it. Excuse me, you can be in the classroom and you get it like that. You hate reading books. You hate reading the actual textbooks, but let the teacher be in class and start talking about what transpired, and you just hanging there and listen to the teacher. You pick up on it in no time. Now, if the test is based off of what the teacher is saying, you ready for the test just by listening to what the teacher said. Mm-hmm. But that getting in the book stuff, that's not you. Or you got people flip it. Certain people that's so-called book smart. And the streets, they don't understand the streets at all. They don't even understand directions within the world of the streets.
Right.
But then flip that, you got people that's street smart. Them books, that's not for them.
Yeah, they ain't a thing.
So I'm asking, based off of potential, is it ever okay for an individual to have crazy potential, and you see the potential to do even more? You see the potential for them to be even more, but then you come across this individual and you look at it and you like, this person just skating by off of just, in what the cases we were talking about, just being gifted. Or gifted is also another word for being gifted, is just being blessed. Just,
Nah.
But they're blessed. They're blessed, but doing less, if that makes a bit of sense.
Maybe let me know if I'm hitting it right. Like you saying, like you see the potential in them, but you feel like they not maximizing it, or they not taking advantage of it.
You know for a fact, they're not. Let's just say the individual, and you like, boy, this individual here could have so much more, like so much more, and you might mess around and hey man, what I'm thinking about going to get my taxes done. Taxes done? Man, what you going to get your taxes? I can do that with no problem. But you like, okay, bro, but you don't charge nobody to do the taxes, but you're doing everybody taxes. And it's like, bro, you good with this. It's tax season. Like you get, you know what I'm saying? This is your year, really. You know what I'm saying? This is your season.
Yeah.
But individual, man, whatever. I'm making it.
I look at that, man, like I said, bro, like to me, they got to be ready for it. Like, you can't pull nobody along. You can't, like, change them and be like, yo, you need to do this. I can't set it up.
Of course.
And that's why I said earlier, like, you got to work on changing yourself, because other people got to want it for themselves.
Now, all I'm doing is speaking to the individual that is in this spot. Like,
it's a difference between trying to helping somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they want it too, boom, they're going to take off.
Yeah.
But you could provide information to somebody multiple times, and then you be like, bro.
That's that horse.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Can't take a horse to the water. I mean, you can take a horse to the water, but can't make them drink.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about that, man. It's just like, they just got to want it, and they got to meet you halfway and be like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
And there's people in life that you meet like that, and then there's people that you meet on the other side.
Yeah. I'm just, it's just something that I just wanted to ask that question, because it's just like, oftentimes you see that. And then on the opposite side of that, you see people that they have no chill. It's like they go balls to the walls nonstop. Bruh, it's your day off. Why you still going hard? And it's just like, that's all they know, and it's like, bruh, even God found a Sabbath day to rest. You know what I'm saying?
Funny.
Hang it up, Reggie. You know what I'm saying? But like, seriously, like, with that being said, are they wrong for doing too much?
I don't think so, bro. I think it's better to do too much than not enough. And then it's all situational based too. Like,
okay, so
this is all general information.
Okay, now you must be new. I was about to come back.
Yeah, but it's all, like I said, that depends on the information, because it's just like the Bible. Somebody might read it and get this. You might hear this and get this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I look at it. Like, nothing is absolute.
Very objective.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. You got anything you want to add?
Nah, man. It's just like I said, bro. That statement he said to me was, Don't stop trying to change other people or change the world or change yourself. And I think that's where the power lies in. It's not changing yourself meaning like change the personality, change who you are, blah, blah, blah. It's meaning change yourself to make yourself better. How can I improve? How can I do this better? How can I do that better? What do I need to work on? And then you lead by example through that. Because it's like people you look up to like Kobe Bryant or whoever else I can name. It's like, wow, why do I emulate that person? Why do so many people gravitate to that energy? It's because he changed himself. He didn't try to change his teammates. He tried to change himself and made himself better, which other people followed that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at it, bro. It's just like, man, that's what I try to do. Because it's like, it's better they lead by example.
You know, leading by the example, but sometimes the example could be the example towards being great. Hear what I'm about to say. Sometimes in order to be great, greatness is demanding. Understand that, what I'm saying. Greatness is demanding. It's no shortcuts. It's not, I'm going to take a day off. It's not, hey, I can coast through this.
Nah,
yeah,
bro.
it's like
work.
Greatness, yeah. And that's hard, a different type of work, because the average individual that's just making it in the world is still working. But in order for you to be great, we talking about a whole different work.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? A whole different work ethic. And it's like, it's demanding. And that alone is enough to turn somebody else off and 100%. Say, you know what? I'm all right being mediocre.
100%, bro. I think that's like, what you just said was a word, man. And I think it's a different type of word. Like you said, like what comes to mind is it's like, it's got a purpose to it. It's like the long game. I was talking to somebody today about that. It's like a lot of people, depending on what it is, like you want to play the long game with stuff. And that's why a lot of people fall off when we talk about certain things, whether it be career, sports, whatever, because they like, bro, I want to keep.
They ain't built to last.
You know what I mean? It's like those weight loss things. Like it just rebrand every year. Every couple of years it rebrand. Now we got keto. Now we got carnivore. Now we got blah, blah, blah. Now we got the little shots that we could take now. And it's like, what is the foundation? Sweat, blood in the gym, lifting, nutrition, and weightlifting.
Man.
Nutrition and weightlifting. And it's like, same thing with life. Life is hard, man. If you really want to be about something and not get distracted as much, like, yeah, you're going to have to go through those learning curves, man. I went through my learning curves. You went through yours. But the straight and narrow, that's tough, bro. That's hard, bro.
Man, what is straight and narrow?
Bro, it's hard, bro, because you see people get knocked off all the time by distractions, bro. I was talking to a guy where I work at, man, and he was saying how, like, he been praying, he been doing this, he be doing that. He about to go to federal prison. And he was talking about, man, I've been praying a lot. Now that I'm in my 30s, close to 40s, he was like, you got to stay on your pivot like basketball. Mm-hmm. And he was like,
don't get knocked off your pivot.
Don't get knocked off your pivot. And he was like, pivot. And he was like, you got girls, drugs, you got money, you got this, that, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I used to think that it used to be the road because the car of life goes forward. It's never going in reverse. And he was like, I used to think it was the road, but it's me. I used to think it was the bumps in the road, but it's me. God, let me know it's me. And I like, dang, man, that's crazy, bro. So it's like, sometimes I was just thinking about that. Like, man, it's so hard, man. You got so many different things that pull at your time.
I agree to an extent. I definitely agree with what the young man was saying. But the gentleman. A lot of times in life, man, it's like that's that blame game, man. We looking at everything that's going on around us, man. It's the conditions, Lord, and it's like it's the car, Lord. But then it's like I asked for this car, Lord. Secondly, it's like, well, Lord, I guess that was my hands. I guess it was my heavy foot, Lord. It's like
that's real.
We don't really want to look at the person that's operating the vehicle, but the vehicle the issue. It's like, bro, like it gets deep sometimes. A lot of you got certain individuals that say, well, and they have the audacity to do this sometimes. Well, Lord, you knew me, Father God. You said you knew me, and you knew I couldn't handle this car. So I really, Lord, well, technically it's not my fault. I just drove what was given to me. And that right there, that's when it's It's bad, man. When it's
For real.
like seriously, bro. Like, did you hear what you just said? Like, you still you're going to deflect that ownership, and you're not. It's just like it's going to always be something else other than you.
That's tough, man. That's a tough pill to swallow too, E, man. Not to cut you off.
That's a tough loss.
Like, it's like, bro, it's so hard though to accept that. Like, when you really accept that in life, like, okay, I have to take what's in my control. Like, what did I contribute? Like, bro, that's hard. That's why I say a lot. Like you said there's a lot of people that don't make it on this journey on a lot of things they set out to do, because it's always something that's not other than them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tough, bro, to accept that.
Always be that.
Yeah, it is, bro.
And that's the thing, because that's the man. The conditions never gonna change when you think about it, because everything's seasonal anyway. So even if you're getting out of, you feel like you're in the clear momentarily. It's hey, that snowstorm coming. It's coming. That same thing that got you last year is coming. And
it may be a different way.
Yeah, it's like, hey, summer is coming, bro. You sweat hard. Them women coming out them clothes. The summer's coming.
Come on, bro.
Come on. It's like, man, I'm ready for hot girl something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but like, what you gonna do though? Like, it comes down to it, because eventually you gonna just keep taking them L's, and it's everybody else's fault. It's not your fault. You're gonna keep taking them L's, and then eventually it's all right. So everybody around me then came in and win, but I'm still going through the same thing. So obviously it wasn't them. Because those factors have changed, but the one constant that remains is me.
Facts, man. Facts.
It's me. And man, when it hits you, it feels so different, man.
Man. Now I think you got one or two options at that point, which I repeated a couple of times, more than a couple of times. In that moment, right, when you realize like reality hit, right? And you like, man, it's me. You can either go to like two things, like escapism, like, okay, how do I make myself feel better? You know what I'm saying? Without like, okay, really meditating on that. That's a lot of things I feel like separate. Because at least for me, it's like, okay, I'm feeling this terrible feeling because it is my fault. And I did mess up something that I shouldn't have messed up on. I just want to do something to get my mind off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of focusing on it, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's how you change it, because you got to focus at it and dissect it. But it's tough in that moment. But feelings are also temporary. Feelings also are fleeting. You know what I mean? So don't turn, like, I got a quote in my mirror. It says, don't turn feelings into facts. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that feeling you feeling is not a factual thing. It's letting you know in the moment what it is, but it's also changing too.
It's interesting to hear you say that, right? We got to be careful what we feel out loud. I understand what that means. I'm about to get into it, but we got to understand what we feel out loud, because a lot of times we can keep something in control if it's within, because when it's within your being, it's still changing. It's changing. But whatever we feel, when it escapes us, like when we start to speak what we feel, understand, like, take note of this. I feel depressed. It's like now you're speaking it into existence because it hit the light. I feel depressed. So now it's not a case of when it's within you, everything is moving. It's in motion. It's to be or not to be. That's what's going on within you. But the moment it escapes you and it hits the reality, you allow that to surface. Now all of a sudden, the results of what just came out of you got to deal with that now. So it's like you gave birth. Now all of a sudden, what you gave birth to is now giving birth to something else. All of that because you didn't deal with what was going on within. You didn't see. Sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes it's just what it is. We give birth prematurely. And when that happens, what that looks like, sometimes that's not the thing that, if we being honest, like just being real here, sometimes that's not the thing that we're looking for. Sometimes it doesn't look like it's done yet, because technically it still was a process that we sped up the process. For whatever reason, we sped it up, and now we gave birth to that. And now what we gave birth to, trying to deal with that versus what should have still been in the oven a little longer, it's like it just is it's totally different. And when it hits the air, when it hits reality, that's still your child. You gave birth to that. You said you felt depressed. Now from your depression, now you battle on with this. So now you got to go. It's almost like that old song, man. It's an old song that I used to hear when I was little. I got to clean up what I messed up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like now all of a sudden
that's a process. That's the word. That's a process.
But the process already started within you.
Right.
But sometimes we get impatient because it's not happening quick enough. So now, you know what, man? The word that you got last week, last week word might have been, steadfast. Now this week, the word you chose to give yourself was now.
Facts.
You went from steadfast last week to now this week. And then all of a sudden, Monday becomes Wednesday, and by the time hump day arrives, you like, you know what? No. Something got to give right now.
Bro, you know what's funny about that? Because I'm picturing it in my head. It's like, okay, what is the difference though? Because I'm thinking about like, in my head, whenever I think about the old school, like the old times, think about like a place with no grass. It's like a field, somebody plowing the field. It's like a little wooden house in the background. Dude got a white shirt on, sweating, collar all dirty. And it's like, he had to wait in that moment. It wasn't no TV, no cell phones. Now you could just look on, are they going up? Oh, this person's going up now. He went from broke to rich that quick. Like and it's just like, that's how you get that now. And it's like, life ain't like that. Like sometimes you have to just chill in the moment. You gotta weather the storm. That's the word. Weather the storm, man. You gotta weather the storm of life, man. Yeah. Like life is not that quick. You don't go from 1 to 30. Nothing in life, if you think about it, that's like concrete. Really skyscraper don't go day 1 to day 30. Now it's up and built.
You know the interesting thing about you talking about weathering the storm. Guess what? It's no different than a pair of shoes, right? You get a brand new pair of shoes. Fresh. They fresh. You never put them on before, but they still fresh. It don't take away from the fact that they fresh. They've just never been on your feet before until you put them on. And now what appears to be fresh, now you got a problem. You're like, boy, these things kind of hard. They kind of tough. What people say you got to do to them, you got to break them in.
Facts.
You got to live in them for a little while.
Facts.
And it's like once you live in them and you start getting them moving around in there, now all of a sudden you molding your shoe.
100%.
It becomes your shoe, your personal shoe. And it's like a lot of us, man, it's like, you got to break in the house, we be ready to give up on the house the moment we man, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. I don't like it. Nah, I don't like it. No,
I ain't noticed this before, man. I ain't know it was like that.
Wait a minute.
It's kind of a little website.
It's a little crack in the wall. Oh, no. It's like now I don't want it.
That's real.
And it's like, but still, you got to live in it.
And you work hard for that house.
Exactly.
You work hard to get in that house, man.
Exactly.
Sometimes, man, that's funny. We work so hard to get in some of these situations we get ourselves in, man. And then we want out of it right now.
Instantly.
We work years, months on getting in this situation.
We did the hard part.
We did the hard work to get this situation.
We did the time to do the hard part just to turn around in a moment, wait a minute. Her mascara kind of...
Facts, bro. That's real.
It's not what I thought it was going. I wonder if it's too late to divorce.
Man, I'm telling you,
like, bro, like y'all just paid like a lot of money on that.
I'm telling you,
and y'all, it's the human way, man.
I hate that is though, bro.
The human
I think
way.
It is like that, man. And that's how I just think like, every person is different on what lessons they recognize and things like that. But it's a lesson in every situation. I always say that, man. And it's just like, what lessons do you need to learn? You know what I mean? Because I think, we say, reach one, teach one. You know what I'm saying?
Reach one, teach one, reach one.
You know what I'm saying? But it's also like, sometimes we got to learn from ourselves.
Yeah. We are our best teachers sometimes, man.
We got 24 access to me. Like, we got 24/7 access to me. You got 24 access to you. That means that.
That's crazy,
and
bro.
But some of us don't even know ourselves. I'm not saying that I know myself, but I'm saying
that's the thing.
Like,
and
I'm
that's
learning.
the beauty.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of that particular station. 24/7 access to self. Mm-hmm. Now you can break that down, call it access to self. You can break it down to 24 me.
Right.
24/7 me. Whatever you want to call it. Regardless, the fact of the matter is it comes a point in time when you got to deal with you.
Got to deal with it, man.
And that's it, man. You got to sit there, man, and you got to, sometimes you got to give yourself box treatment sometimes. Now, it's crazy. Like they hear about somebody having to go into the box. They got to go inside all right, your punishment, go in the box. But when you in the box, man, it's like, you realize it's me now. That's a whole dealing with self moment. Your greatest fears, now is long suffering. It's whatever. You inside of a situation and you don't know when you're getting out.
Right.
Now, the first thing you better concentrate on is breathing. Why? Through breathing, it helps you to build patience. It helps you not to start battling with anxiety and all this other stuff. Now you dealing with the reality of the situation is, I am here. Here is now, and it's like, from that, it's not even about letting your mind continue to run so fast. Now you slow your thoughts down. Since we got ourselves into this, what can we do to better ourselves whilst we here? Like, this is how you got to talk to yourself sometimes.
Bro. That's real. And I think, like, as you were saying the box, I was thinking, like, you got to go into the box. Like, that's punishment. And it's like, to me, it's not punishment when you think about it, because it's like, okay, when you go into the box, what is it? Reflection. What is reflection? Think of a mirror. You're looking at yourself like, okay, let me check my nose. Mm-hmm. My trend, do I need a haircut? How I'm looking, I got a pimple right here. What have I been eating, man? Why my face breaking out like that? That's what reflection is.
You're
like,
right.
And then you come in the next day and you look at yourself, okay, my face cleared up a little bit, man. I put deodorant on. All right, how does fit look? You know what I mean? And that's what reflection is.
You're right.
Basically like a mirror. Because, thoughts are just, the material thing is just a manifestation of like a thought that's in here. So it's like, that's what a mirror is, man. It's like just mirroring yourself and trying to figure out those little tweaks and things like that.
You're right.
And sometimes you're good. Some days you are good. You don't need to fix it too much. Some days is, hey man, I'm looking a little shabby, man. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. Let me get myself together.
You're right.
And it's like a cold. You got to weather that cold, man.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You go into a state of correction.
Yeah, man. And that's okay, man.
A correctional officer.
Everybody should be themselves.
Now
everybody should be the CEO
you
of themselves,
enforcing your
bro.
own law. Like,
right.
What is your? But that's the crazy part about it. If we did function like that, first it starts with understanding what is your law.
Mm-hmm. I think we all do function like that. I think some are better than others. Like some people are, I wouldn't say better. I would say nobody is. This is what my buddy said. I want to hear your take on this. He said, I'm not better than anybody else, but nobody's better than me. And I was like, bro, that's hard, bro. That's weird. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so with that, it's a very humbling statement when you think about the fact nobody's better than me. Hold on, repeat that. Let me make sure.
You gotta say, I'm not better than anybody.
I'm not better. See, that part is humble. Right. I'm not better than anybody, but nobody's better than me.
Nobody's better than me.
So it's almost like he creates his own, because he creates a cap, really.
Right. You may be good at this, you may be good at that, but I can learn that. Yeah. You feel me?
Yeah, but
that don't mean you better than me. That just means you know more than me. You've been exposed to more knowledge, you've been exposed to more experience than I have.
I think with that statement, it does come. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. It comes a time where you got to be bold for what it is that like God definitely he put a bold sense in you. When God got something for you to go, and when God got something for you, God don't send you out to go and get it and say, "Excuse me, mister, can I have?" No. God didn't send Moses to operate like that. Moses, he strolled up on the scene, hey, yo, let my people go. If you redid that scene today, man, like cats might be up there, man, they up there laughing at the man. You hear this Jack, man? You heard what he just, hey, yo, check this out. Hey, say that one more time for my man over there. Hey, Mo, say it.
Funny, bro.
Yo, You heard what I said the first time. I said, let my people go. The boys probably looked that man in his face and bust out laughing.
You know but on the tip on that, bro, that's how you should be about the laws about yourself.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, it comes a certain time where, nah, I ain't going for it. Like, this is what I'm standing on. And I'm not going nowhere until I get what it is that God got for me.
100%. And people leave you for that. People bash you for that.
Yeah, no, they will.
You know what I'm saying?
They will, because they job in that moment, they might not know it. And we quick to take and blame the devil. Man, that ain't nothing but the devil. But sometimes that's just life playing out. And why does life play out the way that I'm getting ready to say? Because it creates adversity. It creates the test to see if you are really willing to pass this test this time. Because if you so easily to be discouraged, and all of a sudden you didn't let the trickster come and trick you out your what God promised you, didn't, okay, go back in the box, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, but I want to put context on it so people hear it, because if people hear that, they're like, oh, they're laughing at me, bro, they hating. And that's not always the case. Now, I'm talking about, like, let's just say, like, when I used to drink, right? And I'm not knocking nobody who do that, whatever. But when I used to drink, right, if all my friends around me, and I told them, like, yo, bro, I ain't trying to go out tonight, man. I honestly, I'm trying to chill on the drinking, bro. I've been doing too much. They'll be like, all right, bro, I'll catch you next time. Or they'll be like, bro, you a lame, you a mark, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's what that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Because it's like, if they really for you, or like they trying to lift you up, they trying to see you elevate, they should be rooting you on. And so I'll be like, all right, you cool, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, yo, they're like, man, you know what? I've actually been thinking the same thing, but I respect you.
You know what I'm saying? But it shouldn't be like, I think that's where, you need to find a new friend group, because they might not overtly hate on you, but if you're telling them you're trying to better yourself, and then they try to get you to go back to your old self, that's what the problem is.
But see, I say this also, man, in life, God has a way of using life to create the shift that you need sometimes.
100%.
Sometimes, the people, man, the thing, one of the most devastating things that I think I've ever heard somebody say, that wasn't like over the top, deep or anything like that, but it just made me think. It was when I was in middle school, getting ready to go to high school. And I knew somebody that was already in high school, and they was like, it was almost like one of them moments. I respected this person. So it's almost like an old version of me talking to young me. If that could happen, this is probably what it would have sounded like. So this individual at the time said, bro, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you this here. Those that you friends with now that you go to high school with, it's a strong possibility by the time you make it to high school or before you leave high school, y'all ain't even gonna be friends no more. And bro, like that devastated me. I'm like, bro, you talking crazy. No, yeah, like bro, we go back since the same, whatever. And it's like show enough. And I don't know why. Well, I do now thinking about it. You go from elementary to middle school, and you think about change. Like the state of change. It's not that much of a state of change that happens between elementary and middle, but the state between middle school or high school, it's a big change happens there, because now your whole mental is changing. You are getting close to becoming a adult, like the things that shape you, your thoughts, now the things that have been introduced is peer pressure, people smoking, people drinking, whatever. Now all of a sudden it's like so many different things, girls, it's a lot of things pulling at you now that before it wasn't that profound, or it shouldn't be in middle school. But nowadays, you know what I'm saying, everything, man. Hey. I had to think about it, man. Yeah, like
nah, I get what you saying.
Yeah, but bro. Lord, slow down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, boy, he was always talking about, man, you need to have a 10-year plan, and then they cut that shade down to 5. Now, hey, let's make that 5. Like, that's how it is now. But yeah, man.
That's real though, E, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It's just like I just was thinking about that this week, and it's crazy that you brought that up, man. But I just think it's just real. It's just real, man, that like certain things that I get older in life, I feel like they're there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And we always think it's the system, it's the car, it's the person, it's the blah, blah, blah. And it's like, maybe it's you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's Bruce. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's Bruce, man. The way you look at things, maybe you need to read a little bit more books or, change some of the people you talk around, improve on your vocabulary, do this, do that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, that's what I look at, man. It's just like once you do certain things, or at least I realize, you get another look at life. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever it's almost like the concept of like when you buy a car, then you start noticing all the other cars. You never noticed them cars before.
Yeah.
Now you bought a car. That's how it is when you improve yourself. You start noticing things that was already there. You just wasn't looking at it. You wasn't looking for it. You know what I'm saying?
You said something earlier, and it's just like it I don't mean to change your segue into something else, but you said I don't know. I'm starting to believe that I don't know, man, is the biggest excuse. Because really and truly, when we say I don't know, it's because we choose not to go further. Like we cap ourselves at that point. I don't want to go past this. Like for whatever reason, like sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's, okay, if I keep going, I already know I'm about to run into I ain't trying to hit this wall. I'm going to just, I don't know.
Not a fear.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Your parents come and they pressuring you when you were young. Look, why you did this? I don't know. You wasn't saying that when you was out there, you know what I'm saying, doing right? Yes, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? But that's the easy part. They ask you the question, you answer for yes, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? That's easy. But when they want the actual answer from you or they want you to give the answer, that's tough.
It is though, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Then you gotta look at self.
Exactly.
That's real.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? That again.
Because why did I do that? That is a good question.
Yeah, that's self-correction. It's like, man.
Listening to so-and-so, man. I was doing this.
But ain't nobody really trying to say that part. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me?
Really? Yeah.
Honestly, bro, I knew that boy was tripping, man. We didn't have to do that, man.
Man, it's like
that's real. That is real.
Like, yeah, like, bro, like I think that's a key point to start evaluating and working on also, because even as adults, not saying that you know everything, let's just go ahead and put that out there. Right. We're not saying you know everything, but when it comes to self, a lot of times, you know why you did what you did. You know what I'm saying? When, like, and I'm speaking to myself in particular. Like the thing, I feel like if it's a situation in which it's worth getting in trouble, whatever. If you know what the consequences are already and you still elect to do whatever you want to do, then already going in, you already know. Mm-hmm. Man, look, some people go ahead and say YOLO. Right, you know what I'm saying? You only live once.
Now you got to stand on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's real. I do think now, I ain't gonna lie. Like as I get older, it's some things that I'm willing to take what come with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, and I think that's what it should be. It shouldn't be mindless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's real.
Yeah, because if you're mindless, then they look at you as a beast. But even a beast can think. So why are we saying mindless and then still classifying that individual as a beast?
I mean, man, I just think like if you already got it, why not use it, man? A lot of times we make the choice, even if we don't think it's our choice, we honestly make the choice not to think sometimes.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Why? Because it's easy.
Yeah. It's like, bruh.
And that's crazy, and it's an insult, really, when you think about it, because we're living in a world in which we're human beings, which we are supposed to be intellectual beings. We're supposed to be. But we feel like sometimes, bro, we living in that slow motion nature to the point to where we can just say whatever or just nobody even know. They won't figure it out,
Or we be thinking we smart, too.
Yeah, man, like, and the craziest part about it, in the music, they put it in the music. And it's like they put a good beat to it and all we listen to the beat. And these people are telling us, man, listen, these people are out there, they doing a crime and they telling you they doing a crime.
Telling you, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, like, I'm with you, E, man. I'm with you on that, bro. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things that I feel like it's gonna keep happening.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna
definitely
keep happening. And it's just like, okay, what can I do?
You know why?
How can I live my life?
Okay,
You know what
like
I
you
feel
said,
me?
like your trainer said, right? And it's interesting because I'm gonna go back and something God put on my heart years ago, and it's like it ties right into what your trainer said. Say what your trainer said one more time for the world to hear.
Stop trying to change other people. Stop trying to change the world and change yourself. And again, let me preface it: not changing who you are as a person. Let people change you, but change yourself for the better.
So check this out. So years ago, I still remember when it came to me what I was doing, and you know, this particular night I was working. It was a graveyard shift, and I got to thinking about, you know, MLK. For whatever reason, I was thinking about MLK and thinking about, you know, his dream. Did he succeed or did he fail? So with success, we look at success as, a lot of us typically, we'll look at success as, you know, everybody on board. It's like the numbers state that everybody on board, everybody doing the same thing. We've overcome. That's what we look at as successful. In 2025, from the 1960s, are we all the way there yet? No. Would I call his dream a failure? No. You know, what I would say is this here, again, it's still a process. It's a moving process. It's a work in progress still. And he's just one component in this larger process that had to happen. You know, he stated how he felt. He gave his thoughts, his beliefs, and that's what he implemented into this process. But I got to thinking, I said, you know, then I don't know. This is what it was. That night I was listening to Big Sean, One Man Can't Change the World. I don't know if you heard that song before.
I heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like I'm listening to it, and it's like as I'm listening to it, man, it's like the flow living in me. Then all of a sudden I detached from the flow and started listening to his heart, listening to the words. And when I was listening to it, I said, boy, this song is very impactful. Then I began to think, I was like, okay, can one man really change the world? And I really like just dwelling on that for a while. I said to myself, you know what? That's a good question. A person can live their whole life trying to change the world, and at the end of the day, accomplish, like, as far as that goes, they could be a failure to themselves because they tried to change the world. Then God told me, no, it's impossible for one person to change the world. However, the one thing that you can change, the one thing that you do have the impact to change is your circle. Those that you're closest to. And how do you go about doing that? Because, for example, your thought process, your beliefs, your actions, all of those different things, it becomes an influence onto the next person. It becomes contagious. Therefore, if they're in your circle, hear what I'm saying? If they're in your circle, then all of a sudden it's infectious. So what happens in that circle, it branches off. Now their circle, they go back and they input into their circle, and then all of a sudden it's getting out. It becomes an infection. A positive infection.
Facts.
That's how change happens.
It is, though.
So what MLK did was his circle. His whole movement was his circle. So now that gave birth to other circles. That's how you start to get change out quicker. One person can't do nothing. It takes a multitude. It takes numbers.
Like I say, man, when one or more come together in prayer, man.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's
sir.
just like two minds is better than one. Now, I 100% believe that, bro. And I just, man, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, bro, I feel like that's where it comes in at, because like when somebody it's like, I heard somebody else say this. It was like, if you see somebody with their thumb out sitting beside a car with the hood up, you're not really likely to stop. But if you see one person trying to push a car, right, you more likely to help that person than anything else.
So what happened? What's the difference between the two? Both incorporates hand gestures.
Mm-hmm.
One is action based.
Action, bro. That's the main defining factor in a lot of different things, bro. I can't speak on everything, but action, man. What you choose to take action on is very important. Like we say, sometimes we take action on the wrong things and we get ourselves in situations and then we want to get out so fast. But it's like some things work out for our good, and I feel like you learn from those things. It's like, oh shoot, man, like you know what I mean?
You know, it's crazy too. Just to hear you say that.
That's real though,
to
bro.
hear you say that, right?
Yo.
Taking the action. Sometimes, man, somebody can sit there and they got the money to do whatever it is that you dream you need to have done. And sometimes they in close proximity. But sometimes a person already got in their mind, man, I ain't doing jack until this joker show me that they willing to do something.
Facts, bro. And that's so much.
And the moment you get out there and you like, you know, man, you know what? I'm going to take a stand. I don't care. I'm going to show myself that at least I'm going to put forth the effort to do this. I don't know what's going to get me, but I'm going to just try.
Let me ask you this, and this may be controversial, man, but I'm being real. Like, I think about like in a, I'm going to just say it, like in the classroom setting, right? Mm-hmm. Like the kids is just like wilding out, causing a ruckus, this and that, versus the kid is actually like working or like trying to read, trying to turn in papers. Like that gets the most attention. But I feel like the world makes it seem like the analogy, the squeaky wheel, the wheel that squeaks the most gets the oil or whatever the case may be, right? You know what I'm saying? Like action-based, man. That's what I feel like is action-based, man. Like it all depends on what the action is. You know, you could be you could take an action towards your goals or away from your goals, man. And I feel like sometimes like certain sayings like that could get misconstrued where somebody is like, well, if I'm just supposed to be making action, all publicity is good publicity, bro. Let's go out there and just make noise, baby. Let's just go viral on anything. Mm-hmm. At night, that might not be the right, you know what I'm saying? But that just popped in my head when you said that, man. But I just think like that's real though, man. Like, cause I was thinking like, even where I work at, the guys that's actually trying, like okay, ready cell inspection. They making their bed, they trying to get ready. I might see them making the last little bit of their bed and then run to the back when I'm about try to get ready for inspection. I give it to them. But the dudes is just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, that's 5 days in a row, my man. Come on, bruh. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's like, I ain't giving you nothing. At least my man trying, dog. You feel me?
At least you know how to put on the show.
Man, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I mean.
So, all right, so check this out. As you was talking, so I envisioned the classroom. And you was talking about like one kid just, you know what I'm saying, as turning up in the classroom. So I got a way of looking at this, right? So check out how this always happens in school, especially high school. So the child is always turning up in class. They're most likely going to be labeled something, the class clown. But even in that's a superlative. Whether it's negative, positive, you choose to do what you do with that. But then there's always that one that's on the opposite end of the spectrum that keep their head down in them books, getting good grades. Now, check this out. To a degree, both of them still making actions. One, their action is leading by example. They getting it done. You know what I'm saying? They knocking it out. A+. You know what I'm saying? A+. They getting it done. Over here, they making a lot of noise in the classroom, like physical noise. Over here, they still making noise too. Their grades making noise though. It's speaking for them, you know what I'm saying?
That's
so
facts.
It's like,
that's facts.
At the end of the day, the superlative is one over here, you know what I'm saying? Class clown. That class clown can go on to become a comedian. You know what I'm saying? A world-renowned comedian. Over here, most likely to succeed. This one here could be the next Bill whoever. Or matter of fact, could be the next version of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or the first version of them. But regardless, it's like they both making noise. So what type of noise are you making? That's the question.
That's a very good.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
very good question, bro.
And does your noise make sense?
Man, that's another one, man. That's the important one, man. And it just takes time, though. That's what a lot of things like. Bro, I got this business idea. I got this. I got that. Bro, I'm gonna make it happen. Let's go. 100 million. But it's like, bro, a lot of things don't happen like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's just like that as a human, man, I guess that's all people, like a lot of people struggle with that. It may not be with business or whatever. At least me, man, it's just like sometimes I'm just learning more and more. You gotta weather the storms, bro.
That's it, man.
You just gotta weather the storms, man. That's just time is the thing.
But you know the craziest part about it, we talking about weathering the storm, and it's like sometimes we pick the most inopportunistic times to choose to weather a storm.
It's all situational,
man.
Dog.
Look here, situational chaos. That's what I would call
right,
this.
Though sometimes we stay in something too long.
Like you stay in something too long, and then sometimes you don't leave before the time becomes right for the, you know what I'm saying, for the chaos to come.
Facts.
Point. Okay, this is my point. I'm talking about like literally and figuratively now. Here it is, man, a hurricane coming. Nah, I didn't work hard for all this here. I'm a ride this out. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. Matter of fact, it's always a false alarm. I'm gonna ride this out. So now all of a sudden your value. You think about the value, everything you've amassed over the years in your house, everything else. But I mean, okay. Let's look at this. Let's analyze. You gonna ride it out though, meaning you gonna stay with the property. What good is the property if the property ain't there no more?
That's actually a profound thought. But
hold on.
I ain't gonna lie.
But as you riding this out with the storm,
yeah.
The worst thing that could possibly happen is, I think you know where we get ready to go out with this. The worst thing that could happen is that moment that the light bulb, that the light switch come on and you like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't the smart.
It wasn't the best thing to do.
Hey, you like, well, there goes the gate. Then you look over, hey, there goes the garage. You like, hey, you sitting there, you like, bro. I guess I better find higher ground. Here comes the water,
bro.
And now you watching all this, like the atmosphere change right before your eyes, and you like, I didn't have to be here.
Man.
I had a choice to leave.
Bro, facts, bro.
But I wanted to ride this out.
I wanted to ride away, man.
Now all of a sudden, what the prayer is it about the property? No, like seriously, what does the prayer look like
bro,
then?
That's real.
Lord, if you could get me through it, I'll never make this mistake.
Man, bro, so many times we don't experience that.
Bro, it's like, man, sometimes, though, we got to understand where cut the loss. Look, hey, they telling you, bro, it's a Cat 5 out there coming.
Facts.
I'm talking about straight on. And people listen to me. No, I'm not trying to take and deter you from your level of faith. I'm not.
Bro.
I'm not.
I'm with you because the thing that comes to mind as you were speaking was anything's possible, right? Like, you can make $1 million. This is America. This is a capitalistic state. You can make whatever you want to make, live your dream. It's all possible. Is it possible for you, though? You feel me? Like, is that really tangible for you? Is
it really conducive to your success?
That's what I'm saying. For your situation, people, you know what I'm saying? For even speaking to myself, like, I have to reevaluate certain things that I want to make a move on. And it's like, let's really think about this, my man. You know what I'm saying? Are you sensationalized this? Are you being too grand? You know what I'm saying? Is your thoughts getting away from you? Because that can happen too.
Man, look, it's like this here. So it's a situation in which you stop and is it worth it? It's always a question, is it worth it? Okay, so yeah, I could ride this out with my property. But suppose my property don't make it.
Right.
God put me in position to gain this property. But if I'm with the property gone, I'm gone.
Hey, game over.
It's all gone.
Come on, man.
But then it's like, man, I heard this. Like, I was at work one day and a coworker was playing this. And man, this was deep. I'm gonna say it and I want your thought on it. So, keeping it in line with what we're talking about. It was a situation in which a question was asked. Excuse me. If you out in a large body of water, let's just say the ocean, you're on a boat, and the worst type of situation happens. The type of situation that states if it's 3 people on the boat, you, your wife, and your child, and out of the 3, Only two can make it.
Man, that's hard.
And the question was asked to a woman, like, do you save your husband or do you save your child?
Man, that's hard, bro. Honestly, man, that's a good question. To be real, bro, I don't even know what I'll say. The right question in my mind will be, let them go here, just because it's like she has opportunity to produce again, and my child hasn't even lived life yet. They have a longer life than I do. So it's like, let them go. But I don't know what I do in that situation, bro. That's tough.
I was talking to, just yesterday, I was talking to my homeboy about this. And about the same scenario. And the way we're taught as men is to be a good man means sacrifice. Right. So you sacrifice yourself for the greater good, which is your family. Make sure that they got an opportunity. The way that this woman answered this question changed everything that I was taught. An old girl came out her mouth and she said, you talking about standing? She came from out her box, and old girl was unlocked.
What'd she say?
And or unorthodox. She said, hands down, it's gonna be me and my husband. And everybody, you can only imagine what the comment section looked like.
Man, they were know that was
you can only imagine, and that's crazy. That it's like, first of all, it gets crazy when we start to try to weigh lives anyways.
Right, 100%.
But her response thereafter was, if God bless me and this man to create this child, God can create another child between me and my husband again. Now, granted, that won't be that child. And that's where we fall victim, I believe, because in our mind, we start to think about the selfish parts of everything, and really and truly, in the Bible, it say what? It say love what? It talks about, it talks about loving, you love your wife like God loved the church. So it doesn't say love your child like God loved it. It says your wife. And it says also that man is to cleave unto what?
I'm lost, bro. I'm like, okay. Hold on, my man. I was about to go to Google on this month.
Well, go ahead. See what Google got to say.
What was the question again?
God, man is to leave
his wife. Leave his family, mother and father, and find a wife. Whoever finds a wife is a good thing.
Huh?
Whoever finds a wife finds a good thing.
That's what it said.
Hold on. You're right. Look at me, man. Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. Now
but read before that.
It said the verse about leaving your mother and father. Matthew 19:5-6, and Genesis 2:24. The verses refer to man. Matthew 9:5-6. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh.
See.
What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate apart.
All right.
Genesis 2:24. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother. But yeah.
So there it is.
I don't know, man. That's tough, man.
See, but still, it presents I don't know afterwards.
But children. But it also talks about children, like verses in the Bible about children too. But I don't know, man. Life, when it comes to making decisions on life, bro, I ain't trying to make.
My thing is this here.
Oh, what's up?
My thing is this here. Yeah, granted. If you live by the word, and this is all I can say, if you live by the word, you should abide by the word. That's it. If you say you believe in the word, you should abide by the word. That's just my opinion. So if what you just read, you're reading all of that, and God is telling you the importance of that union, then ain't nothing can come in between that. And that's the problem number one in today's generation now. We've allowed our kids to come in between that too much, and they play sides anyways.
Nah, I agree with that. I do agree.
The whole scenario
about it in the Bible too.
And the whole scenario that I just gave that came from this young lady or whoever it's about playing sides. It should be no side. Because if those two ingredients are present, the husband and wife, that's it. That's the cheat.
That's my kid, bro. I gotta sacrifice myself, bro. I gotta sacrifice myself.
If those two ingredients are there,
yeah. But I can't. So you telling me my friend, my 2-year-old, bro? I'm looking at my wife, my child.
See again.
I'm
you're looking at it from.
Y'all go ahead.
Listen, you looking at it from a selfish perspective.
How's that selfish?
Hear me out.
What's up,
man? Too many times in a good book has God tested an individual. He tested Jacob multiple times, right? You recall what he did with him with his child?
Hold on. I think it was Abraham and Isaac. So I was about to take your son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the mountain.
That's right. That's right. Excuse me.
Offer him that burnt offering.
Jacob. Yeah, with Jacob, he tested. I mean, it was
Abraham and Isaac.
That's right. But with Job, he tested him on many different levels. But yeah, so look at it right there. And what happened through his obedience? What happened?
Yeah, true. But I can't do it, bro.
See, you keep saying.
I'm saying, unless I don't know, man. I'm going to say I don't know.
Right now.
I'm going to go with the safe answer.
Don't say you don't know. Just say I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I'm not there yet, man.
That's
I'm not there in that situation.
Again, that's the thing, though, man.
It's a tough one, man.
First of all, man.
Tough one, dog.
And again, something that comes with that situation is this here. Faith. Your level of faith. Because your actions, like we've been talking about the whole time, your actions go into motion, which means that you have faith for God to make the right outcome.
100%, man.
And with that being said, God don't make no mistakes.
Man,
He can't miss.
Can't miss, man. Dog, that's real though, man. That's real, bro.
But no, I ain't knew this conversation was going.
Right,
that brother hugging on himself, boy. That brother look like.
Yo, you know what's crazy though? Didn't you
like
say
Stevie.
that though? You was like when before we even started, you was like, it's gonna go there, man.
But it's going there.
You know
it went there.
It went there,
bro. We ended on what? That brother said we ended on the cliffhanger.
Yo, that's funny, man.
Boy, I ain't never seen you scream like, boy, you was squirmish just
bro, I was like, oh.
That brother said,
you pushed the button.
That brother said, stop the camera.
Who was God? That's funny, man. Man. I appreciate you, E, bro. It's always a good time.
Most definitely.
This is Real Talk Podcast, man. If you liked anything we said, if anything resonated, if you laughed, man, you thought something was profound, give us a like, give us a share. This is the Real Talk Podcast. We post every Thursday. Peace, y'all.
Real talk.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode or if you want to check out more of our content, please visit our social media platforms linked in the description of this episode. You can also check us out each week where we drop a new episode every single Thursday. So don't forget, like, share, comment, and thanks again for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.